I think this video is super important for anybody in their early 20s. I'm 22 years old, and we've all heard this saying, live it up in your 20s. Live it up in your 20s. Go party, go have fun. You're only going to be in your 20s once. Go hook up with a bunch of girls. Go to the bars, go to the clubs, do all that in your 20s because when you're in your 30s, you'll probably have a wife, you'll probably have kids. You have to start taking life a little bit more serious in your 30s. That's when you start to figure things out. And I completely reject this idea of living it up in your 20s. Us humans, we want everything, right? We want everything without sacrifice. You want to be rich, you want to be successful, but you're not willing to sacrifice your weekends. You want to be jacked, you want to be ripped, you want to be healthy, but you will not sacrifice eating donuts. You won't sacrifice eating cereal every morning. You won't sacrifice these things, but you want to be ripped. This is not the right way to think, okay? And for the people who are watching this video, this is episode 3, where I'm just talking to the camera as a young 22-year-old man in today's society. I have friends who ask me questions, who ask me to talk about things, and I also talk about things that are from my own personal experience and my own ideas. And this is something that's super important in my life. And I've realized this. I went to college for a year. I was 18 years old. I played on the football team at Miami of Ohio, Miami University. For a whole year, I was partying. I was smoking weed. That was a bad addiction in my life. I smoked weed all throughout high school, smoked weed in college. I told this story in the last video. I would put a garbage bag over the fire alarm in my dorm room, and I had a bong in there, and we would be ripping bongs. People from my football team, I'm telling you, every 30 minutes, I had no peace. Yo, let's smoke. Yo, let's smoke. We would go in my room and smoke. I'm talking 5, 6, 7 dudes in my room at all times hitting the bong in my room with the trash bag on the fire alarm. And one day I told myself, I was laying in bed, I was going to sleep. My roommate at the time was with somebody else from my team. And I was like, I'm done smoking. I'm realizing this is affecting my life. It's been about a week. It's been a week or two. I'm done smoking. And I was laying in bed, almost asleep. And them two lit up a blunt. They lit up what was it called? A Dutch, whatever. A backwood. That's what it's called. They were smoking a backwood. They lit it up in my dorm room. I'm like, Chase, hit it. I caved into peer pressure, hit it 2-3 times, was absolutely fried. Next thing you know, the fire alarm goes off. We start to freak out. I start to panic. I haven't smoked in a week or two. I'm super fried off 3 hits. I don't know what's going on. My roommate's freaking out. I get the fan in my room. I'm spraying cologne in the fan, trying to spray it around my room. Next thing you know, we sprint up out of the room, because the dorm building gets an alert of who set off the fire alarm. Next thing you know, cops come in. They see that my roommate left a bunch of stuff on the desk. His license is out. Me and my roommate run out of the dorm room. We're scared. We're paranoid. We come back a few hours later. We're like, fuck, what the hell just happened? It felt like we fled a crime scene. I remember me and my roommate were running away from the dorm building, and like we heard cop sirens. We're like, fuck, they're gonna get us. Made it a way bigger deal than what it was. We were just fried. We were paranoid. But these type of experiences are what your parents, what your peers who are older than you say is live it up in your 20s. Experience all that in your 20s, and then you can worry about being successful. And then you can worry about taking care of people in your life. And again, I completely reject this idea. I completely reject this idea. As a 22-year-old, yes, I'm fairly young, but I have realized this after I experienced that year in college, that partying, that smoking, that vaping, that going to the club and trying to hook up with girls is not fulfilling me in my life. None of that fulfills you. All of that is pleasure. And I think I was watching a Chris Williamson video, me and my roommate were watching this and we were like talking about it. And I feel like that's the best way to learn. When you have somebody who's like-minded, you guys are basically watch the same things. You're like the same person. And so you kind of bounce back ideas off one another, and it actually helps you learn and retain information better. But we were talking about this Chris Williamson video, and he mentioned that when you lack meaning in your life, you cover up that insecurity with pleasure. You cover up that insecurity with pleasure. You go out on the weekends. You don't know who you are, but you cover that up with partying, with drinking, with smoking, with going out on the weekends, with always hanging out with people. Maybe you don't even like them that much, but you always want to be with other people, right? And then there's another group of people who sacrifice fun for the meaning of their life, which is most of the time work. I have associated my pleasure with work. I find enjoyment in work. And what that has done for me is actually, it's been harder for me to find things to do that are fun. Like when somebody asks me what's fun, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I golf sometimes. I guess that would be fun, but I get my enjoyment in work. And I know some of you right now who are watching this video are like, that sounds like a lame, boring life. And to you, it might. To you, the one who parties and overstimulated and is filled up with dopamine 24/7 because you're scrolling, you're jacking off, you're trying to hook up with girls, you're drinking, you're partying. You're like, this guy, he's 22, he is lame, he is boring. And I accept the fact that we're just in completely two different mindsets. But there is somebody who's watching this video who feels the exact same way as me. You're ambitious. You want to be successful, and everybody else around you feels like you're boring, feels like you are left out at times because they're all partying, they're all going out, they're all having fun, and you're at home reading about how to run meta ads. You're at home reading how to run TikTok ads. You're at home reading what's the best online business to start. You're online learning, you're doing things, you're reading books while these people are out partying and drinking. And in my mind, yes, it might be boring to them, but in my mind, I am gaining an advantage. I am working on myself. Yes, in the moment, I do not have proof that I am successful, but over a period of time, over 5-10 years, I'm going to be so farther ahead of these people. And this kind of goes to Kobe Bryant, the Kobe mentality. You work every single day. You work so hard every day consistently that the people who are not, for the people who are on your level over time, who don't put in that work, are going to stay here while you just keep getting better. And over time, those people will never be able to catch up because you have been putting in years and years and years of work. And it starts in your early 20s. It starts when you realize that the people in your life currently are not the people that are going to get you to your goal. There's a lot of things that you have to sacrifice to be successful. Now, by any means, I am not successful, but I'm around a lot of people who are successful. For example, my mentor is a successful man. To give you reference, he has 5 McLarens, right? And so when you're hanging around these people who are more successful than you, you'll realize that the hedonistic behaviors that people indulge in, like smoking, like partying and drinking, is not fulfilling in your life. Actually setting a goal, working on it every day, getting slightly better every single day, that feels way better than a quick, instant dopamine high rush that you get from scrolling on social media, from smoking, drinking, partying, vaping, all that kind of stuff. And so basically, this whole video is me rambling and trying to convince you to not live it up in your 20s. Do not listen to these people. I'm 22 years old. And realizing this has unlocked something in my brain that I think gives me a competitive advantage over the people who haven't figured this out yet. I don't want to be 25, 26, 27, 28 thinking like, fuck, I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what direction I'm in. I don't know who I am. I do not want to be in that position when I'm that age. So the sooner that you understand and realize that the pleasure-seeking activities aren't going to fulfill you, the closer you will become to achieving your goals. It's going to suck in the moment. It's going to suck to reject that invite to go out. It's going to suck to not get invited to parties. It's going to suck to lose friends, but you're sacrificing to get to your goal. You cannot have everything without some sacrifice. You're sacrificing your current circumstances, your current friends, your current invitations, everything that's currently in your life. You're sacrificing that. That's your old self, for the better you. You just have to realize this. Don't cave into society. Do not cave in to the people who are not in the position that you want to be. Have that message be in your brain, okay? This message, don't live it up in your 20s, is not the right message for a young man in today's society, because you will be left behind. You will be taken over by AI. People are going to start, not even people, AI is going to start taking over jobs. You're complacent. You're 28 still going to dive bars. You're going to get lapped. You're going to get lapped by people like me. You're going to get lapped. And one day you're going to be like, I wonder what that one kid's doing. Jace, I wonder what he's doing. I haven't seen him around in years. I wonder. And then you're going to see me on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the dopamine I'm going to get. The dopamine when I'm in my mansion, when I'm with my wife, when I have my kids, when I have achieved all the goals that I set out for myself. That is when I'll get the dopamine rush that won't fucking go away. The jacking off, the scrolling on TikTok, that shit goes away. But the dopamine you get of achieving your goals and sacrificing to achieve those goals is greater than any of those instant gratification, dopamine-filled pleasures that you can get instantly. Imprint this message in your brain. Again, this is episode 3 of me talking to you what's on my mind as a 22-year-old who is trying to become successful, who's trying to become 1% better every single day. This channel is all about self-improvement. And, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I say at the end of all my videos, I wish you the best of luck and stay locked in.